Another week of Premier League action has come and gone. Match day 34 was definitely one to remember. We did not have 10 games, because of the FA Cup, but still we had a lot of action. And starting with the top of the league, Victor, despite playing somewhat unconvincingly, Arsenal managed to get a win against Newcastle, a win that took them to the top of the league temporarily. How massive is that win for their title bid?
Well, look, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but I really need to point out that you using the phrase somewhat unconvincingly is really putting it mildly, okay? Uh, Arsenal have been getting away with playing poorly and somehow winning for quite a while now. I would have thought that the defeat to Bournemouth might wake them up, but it didn't. For this result, yeah, it's massive. Of course, 3 points against Newcastle, but they were dominated far more than they should have been by a bottom half side. Again, Arsenal need to start playing some better football because performances like these will only give Man City more confidence that they can actually nip ahead and win the title.
I don't remember Newcastle dominating. Well, okay.
Yeah, there were
Moving
quite
away.
a few spells.
Nah, I can't remember that. But yeah, moving away from Arsenal, let's go over to Anfield, where Liverpool displayed a clinical performance to beat Crystal Palace, making it 3 wins in a row. I can't remember the last time Victor said that. But anyways, after that result, Max, do you think Liverpool are now guaranteed of a top five finish?
I'd say most likely, yeah, but I mean, there's still little chance because the upcoming games for Liverpool are not that easy. I mean, it's United on the road, then Chelsea at home. Probably, if they win this one, they're suddenly in top five. Then Will on road and Brentford at home. So I mean, reaching at least 2 or 3 points in this game should be easy for Liverpool, and I don't see Brighton winning every single one out of their four. So probably, yeah, but the game itself against Crystal Palace wasn't that convincing. But I mean, they have 3 shots
Yeah.
on target and all three were in. So I mean, after that game, most likely, yeah, they're making top five.
Yeah, that's why I said clinical performance. I guess that's how Victor likes to win. But anyways, away from the top of the table, let's go to the bottom end where things are also interesting. So back to you, Victor. Could West Ham's win against Everton prove to be one of their most important of the season, given the context of things?
Yeah, huge one that. Imagine if they hadn't managed to get it. They would have gone back down to 18th. This way, the pressure is still mostly on Spurs. It must be said, Everton put in a decent game and they will feel very hard done by to come away with nothing. But it's not like West Ham lucked into the win either. Like, I feel like they deserved it more than Arsenal did against Newcastle, for instance. Uh, West Ham, they're showing more fight than I thought they could, to be honest. And I'm starting to have doubts. I always said, okay, I still think Spurs are staying up. I'm starting to have doubts about that.
Interesting. And then, Max, over to Spurs. He finally won a Premier League game of football in 2026. Wow. Against Wolves, we must add. But how painful was it for Spurs to see that despite winning, they did not leave the drop zone?
I mean, first of all, it was probably the easiest game of them in the ending of the season. Like, they still managed to win it, but it wasn't convincing as well. And also the fact that West Ham won their game is making it even harder for them because now they have Aston Villa on the road. Then probably not that hard game against Leeds at home, but then Chelsea on the road and Everton in last match day. It could end up painful for them, especially because West Ham also have the game against Leeds and Brentford that is not doing great recently. They're not winning like 6 or 7 games in a row. So, I mean, they're going to have a tough time if they're not winning against either Will or Chelsea.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that one. Anyways, Victor, over to Manchester United. The Red Devils have all but secured European football after a 2-1 victory over Brentford, Monday night. Is it safe to say they are the most improved side in the Premier League for the second half of the season?
Yeah, surely. I mean, Carrick has been great for them. I didn't think they can make the top five this season from the start, but they
Yeah.
were all business against Brentford, and they're now very close to confirming their return to the Champions League for next season. So it's not just European football, but it's actually the European competition, which is great for them. I think it was brilliant. They should really appreciate Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. They are really the biggest reasons for this revival. And just as a side note, I think it's mental to see how Ruben Amorim was able to gaslight an entire fan base, thinking they need to suffer and would require a couple of years before getting back into the UCL. So take that.
Right. And back to you, Max. Nottingham Forest beating Sunderland was not exactly a shock. But how shocking was it to see Forest win by 5 goals?
I mean, how often do we see 5-0 in Prem, even if it's, for example, Arsenal against Wolves? For example, last time we saw a 2-2 game between them. But, I mean, if you look at the stats, the game wasn't that one-handed, obviously. They had pretty much same stats for both sides. And I feel like if they replay this game for like 5 times, we will never see one or other team win more than by 2 goals. So I'd say it was just a good day for Nottingham Forest and bad day for Sunderland, but still makes pretty much nothing on the table.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's what we get in the Premier League. So unpredictable. That is the nature of the league, especially in this business end of the campaign. Anyways, there'll be more action to come in the next game week, and we'll be sure to preview all the best talking points before they happen.